I'm John Grafft, and I love Chicago real estate. Between showings, I stop in my favorite places, talk with local business owners, and bring their story to you. This is my Chicago.
Now I'm going to tell you what makes me different.
Okay.
I handle the gallery the way you handle a piece of artwork. You develop it.
You understand it from
The
artist's
artists, exactly. The artists are different colors. You handle it that way. You have to have that concept in your head in order to understand or really transform the market. Like, I'm an artist. I know how I work with a piece of artwork. I know how people think. I know how to get to them. So you have to handle the art gallery or the art concept, the group, the community that you have the same way. You have to really filter people. People think that I'm like ear open to see who wants to come buy paintings. And no, I actually put people together and be like, okay, how are we going to do this? You know what I mean? You have to really pay attention, like
connecting the artist and the buyer.
Yes. How are you going to do it? Who are you going to sell to? What are you going to say? So,
I mean, art speaks for people. It speaks for the artist. But when people put a piece of art on their wall, I feel like they're making a statement.
Exactly.
Or they want some type of perception about them to be known by whoever's looking
That's
at
what I do.
art.
That's what I do. So I tell people, this is not, there's some galleries out there that yeah, they will put, artwork and it looks pretty and it's cool. And then you go and talk to all the artists and they're like looking for the next gimmick. These guys in here, look at this one, 𝗙𝗘𝗢𝗣𝗘𝗥𝗧𝗬. She was an orphan. She lived on the streets, like out on the streets. Gypsy, Spanish, now lives in Netherlands. Now she is the third most valuable Spanish artist.
Living?
That is living right now, the most valuable, the number 3, right? When you see Jordan Scott, he's a sensei master, freaking karate, Shotokan teacher. So he looked to transform, like he looked at
the guy that did the stamps in your office.
Stamps.
That's cool.
See,
that's the first thing I noticed. Your office is a lot of stuff.
See what I mean? So it's so cool because you see this guy, it's like, I use stamps and they gotta be canceled. So you ask him, and he's like, well, he goes, Fidel, you know the energy that every stamp has? He has carried information from one point to another. That stamp just went from one side to another. So there's a lot of energy that he encapsulated in his work that
That's an interesting way to think about it.
So when
you
grabbing a mandala charged with stories that you do not know, and he repurposed them. How can you not sell that guy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So does that guy, how did you end up with that piece?
So he used to be, I got more of his work. So he used to be an artist at a gallery called 𝗔𝗕𝗢𝗧𝗨𝗥𝗘𝗗. The gallery closed, and I like this work. I've seen it before. So I always go ahead of I'm always not thinking, but acting 10 years ahead. When I saw his work, I was looking for a gallery for myself to represent me in Chicago. I was just moving to New York, but I put him in the file cabinet. So I said, one day I'm gonna work with this guy. I like his work, Same with Yang, Chinese artist. Ran into his work. There was a gallery here, Russian art dealer, and she exhibited my work, and she used to represent this Chinese artist. And I went to the Merchandise Mart to an art fair, and I saw his work, and the work was beautiful, gorgeous work. And I said to him, oh my God, your work is amazing. One day I would love to work with your work. I would love to exhibit this. It's rich. You see those colors are vibrant. And the beautiful like bulls and group of people is like mythology. And one day, another John, guy like you, tall, John, he came and we were organizing an event. And he told me, have you ever thought about exhibiting Chinese? Do you have a Chinese artist? I'm like, no. He said, so my girlfriend's dad is an artist. You got to see his work. So I immediately said, okay, it's probably something traditional. He gives you the freaking emails. He sent me an email and I opened the fucking thing and I was like, bingo. It was the guy that I saw before. This guy was serendipity. I'm like, so every artist came through something special, through a very particular story. So that's how we picked up. And also they have particular lives. So
I feel like that's what you're buying. You're buying into the
Yeah.
story of the artist.
yeah, you do.
Everyone knows about, if you know about Gaudi, you know about his life. You know about Dali, you know about his life.
Da Vinci, Michelangelo,
All these artists.
Cézanne.
I think a lot of people know more about the artist than their art.
Well, I tell you why. They do, because that's where the art is coming from. If he's a guy that doesn't have an interest in life, he's not going to have an interesting piece of artwork
You
either.
know life in the art.
There's exactly. So the art happens. I don't know who said it the other day. I saw it online when somebody said, the art happens outside. It's how you experience the world.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I'm local realtor John Grafft. Check out our YouTube channel, Grafft Real Estate, for the largest collection of curated properties here in Chicago. Whenever you're ready to buy or sell, drop a line, let's talk. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy this interview.
So you came from Venezuela. Were you doing art in Venezuela?
Yeah, man. This is gonna crack you up. So my father he went to med school, and this is how they start. This is how everything started. My mom when my father didn't graduate from med school, and then married my mother, that was his secretary when he was working in the government before Venezuela was socialist.
So this is like 70s?
Yes. So it's funny because they move out of the city and they move to another city, like far away from the capital. We move into the projects. Now I know those were the projects. When I was there and I was a kid, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Now I know they were the projects. 8-floor building with very little apartment next to each other.
It's a real small tangent. I was driving down LaSalle yesterday. And you know the church where they do meal services, right?
Yes.
And so you see families, and there's young, old, there's every type of person in that line waiting for groceries or whatever they're giving out for free. And all the adults look kind of sad, right? But a lot of these adults had children. All the children
We're happy.
playing
You are
with
clueless.
each
You
other.
don't know.
They have no idea.
You have no
to them,
idea.
They're just going to get their groceries.
Yeah, you have
They
no
don't
idea.
realize
That's just, yeah. So at that time, so we used to live in the projects. It was my sister and I. I wanted to be, this is actually different because people say, how did you become an artist? So I wanted to be a dancer when I was like 6 years old. Mm-hmm. They put me in a competition on TV and whatever. But to get trained before the competition, they hired a guy that was in trouble that used to live in there in the project. He was a mixed Arabic and Venezuelan. He was a trouble kid. He was in juvie and all that. So he was teaching me how to dance. During breaks, the guy used to draw.
Okay.
And I was fascinated. But look at the mentality of a kid. I was fascinated with it. And when I looked at it, I was a 6-year-old kid. I said to him, if I could draw like this, I would be a counterfeiter. And I started drawing money.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, napkins. And I would go downstairs to the convenience store trying to, obviously they do, that's how everything started.
You're trying to use it?
I tried to use it. I tried to be a counterfeiter, just I wasn't a good one. So that...
Well, you might need different paper.
Yeah, of course, but imagine the intention to you know what I mean? So it's I believe it's destiny. You're the Western world tells you be all you can be, but at the end of the day, you came here for a reason. You're gonna end up doing what you're gonna end up doing. Maybe you don't do nothing during your whole life, and you're meant to do something meaningful an hour before you die.
Yeah.
You never know.
When'd you come to the States?
96.
96.
Miami.
Everyone goes to Miami.
Yeah, of course. I'm Venezuelan.
Yeah.
Where do you think everybody is? They're all there.
You can't go to Miami without speaking Spanish.
But I was in Miami. I was married at the time. I was in Miami for like a couple of months.
So 96, you're like 30-ish, 20?
Dude, I'm 51 right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to do some math back.
24.
24, okay.
Yeah. 24 years old. No English. Typical story, right? Yeah. Oh, when I came to America, No, I had English. I spoke English at the time.
Did you see Western culture in Venezuela? Was there any influence?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in a school that everybody was mixed.
Okay.
I grew up like my junior high was Japanese, Chinese, Arabic.
Really?
Spanish. Yeah.
So this was in Venezuela. Why was there a melting pot?
World War II, everybody went there. It's an oil country.
Yeah.
It's the richest country in South America.
Yeah. Yeah. The most resources.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say the richest country in America.
Yeah.
The whole America. If you think about oil, but that's a page in another book.
Yeah. So you came here and came to Miami. What'd you do? How'd you plan? Did you talk to anyone here?
No. So what happened? My sister was living here already, but at the time, Miami was difficult to adapt yourself to it. I mean, you go through a whole process of like first the language, the culture. You come from like a very conservative family, the way you think, and then you come to the land of opportunities where everybody's free. The shock is like, and it's not that you came really, really young, that you adapted it. No, you have to embrace it and accept it, try to understand it and assimilate. Yeah. So I in New York, it was difficult.
Well, hold on. How long were you in Miami?
4 months.
4 months. Okay.
Something like
So
that.
you get to Miami, and were you like, I need to leave here? That feel like little South America?
It did. I mean, you see Venezuelans everywhere. I'm like, I just left. Well, I didn't come from Venezuela. I came from Mexico, actually.
Okay.
Because I have like an international background before I came here. I was working as a set designer. I was like,
designer?
yeah, I used to paint back.
Where?
Yeah, Mexico and Dominican Republic.
Okay.
I was working for an Italian corporation. So they hired me, we're going back again.
Yeah.
So they hired me to do big backdrops for theaters. So I was really fast. And, one of my mentors, he's from France, was like, Fidel, this has to be done in 2 days. If it's more than 2 days, it's a problem. So you basically are trained to paint oversized, impressionist art. That from the distance,
You're getting the set.
yeah, creating the set.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah, so
Someone has to make that stuff.
yes, I had to build sets and design changes, design backgrounds.
Huge time.
Yeah.
It's like short.
Yes,
With no time
under
to do
pressure
this.
too.
Yeah.
And you have to engineer actually the changes when the lights go off and then go back on. Like how is that
How's it
going to
gonna
happen?
look?
How is it going to look?
Yeah.
The lighting, the space, you have to actually work with dancers, and then you have to be like, okay, how many dancers do I have on the stage? And then like, let's say you have, we have a solo. Okay, so we can give less space while that background covers us working behind it, changing everything for the
Yeah.
next set.
So, there's so many moving pieces.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So how'd you get that job? How'd you start doing that?
When I was in the Dominican Republic, I had an art dealer over there, Greek art dealer, 𝗥𝗢𝗣𝗣𝗡𝗥𝗧𝗬. So he was a friend of a hotel corporation owner from Italy. And I remember I got fired from a job that I had over there. He recommended me, and then I went. I was thinking that I was gonna get hired as a main artist because I thought I was super special. And then this monster comes out, the set designer. It was like, whoa, I thought I was up there. This guy, no. You're gonna be my assistant. I'm like, motherfucker. Shit. So I worked under him for 3 years, and I learned everything, all the engineering and how everything changes. I will sit in front of the canvas, the fabric to paint, and I will paint details. And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, what? Trying to be perfect. He goes, this is like an impressionist image that from the distance and with the lighting is going to look like a photograph. Oh, So he taught me like perspective, like perception from the distance, knowing how to make something up close that you know already how it's going to look from the distance. So you don't have to go back and forth.
You ever heard the 10,000 hours rule? You ever heard of that?
Ooh, now we're going to get controversial. Go ahead.
Because the Beatles were, one of the things the Beatles were famous for is they were just performing every night, really getting good at performing. And if you're working on a set, you're doing art every day, but getting paid for it and doing what someone else wants you to do, but still adding your own little touch to it. So you got to be really refining your skills every day.
So you got to evolve. You know what I mean? But the 10,000 hour rule, go ahead, what you say, they say that you will, yes, you do become skillful.
Yeah.
Like I live with a sketch all the time.
You sketch every day?
Oh, every day. Like seriously, I will be on the phone. You will call me on the phone, and I'll be talking to you, and I'll be like, yeah, okay, and it's not that I'm doodling. I'm literally like drawing. So it becomes instinct now. Like I could be working, drawing, doing something that is technically art while we all talking. You know what I mean? Now, when you're gonna be full-blown artist that you have to like engineer the whole idea, that's different. You know what I mean? So the 10,000 hour rule, a lot of people follow it. I think it's great. I think is standard.
Yes. It's a minimum.
A minimum.
Yeah, that's how I think too.
minimum.
If you haven't been doing it that long, you're not a true tradesman.
A minimum.
Doesn't matter what your trade is.
Yeah, it's a minimum.
Yeah.
It's a minimum. It's like
It's when you get a black belt in martial arts, they say, well, now you start learning. All that means is you found the fundamentals and you mastered the fundamentals.
I'm starting my career now.
But now you're learning how to use.
I'm starting my career now.
Yeah.
Now. You see what I mean? Like, I was like, I just turned 51. I'm starting it now. After I failed many times, after I fuck up many times, after I pretended to be an artist this way, pretended to be an artist that way, and then you let everything go, and then you say like, well, okay, I already did 10,000 hours, 100,000, 1,000,000 hours. So that's the minimum for you to polish your language.
Yeah.
Meaning like, that's technically what you use. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're at the base.
Yeah. So people, so put it this way. In art is a language, right? You work 10,000 hours so you can pronounce properly, so you can speak properly. That doesn't mean that you are 𝗤𝗢𝗣𝗥𝗢𝗣𝗘 or Jordan Peterson. That's when you start elaborating and say, now I want to be one of those. Now I want to speak. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So with the art, it's the same. There's people that don't know how many faces there are. And in the art business, some people is able to spot it and be like, oh, wait, this is the process. Here's where I am. Now I'm going to speak. See what I mean? Mm-hmm. Being premature is a problem. And right now, there's a lot of prematures out there with a lot of followers and a lot of publicity and a lot of people spending a lot of money on a trend.
Yes.
That's why people hate it.
It's right now, and I don't care what the business is, but it's very easy for people to fake things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You want 100,000 followers? I can get you those tomorrow. Right? And people think that's a metric of success. Like that's important.
It's not.
Yeah. You can also purchase things. I love when people are like, I did $1 million in sales. I'm like, well, what did it cost you to get $1 million? Like $1 million. Like you made zero.
Exactly.
So for a year, you made $0.
Exactly.
To be able to say you did this.
Yes.
I get it.
See what I mean?
Yes. But I feel like that's more accepted than it ever was because it's more ubiquitous. You see it in more places, you see it in more industries.
Yeah.
And younger people looking on, they think that's how you do it.
That's the thing, that it's an infection.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fucking infection, man. I mean, and because it's an infection, now the art industry has a parallel world. The world of artists that are actually working, that don't care about the followers, but care who buys their work. And the one on the other side that is fooling everybody, that is telling the world, I got 1 million followers. I cover my face and I paint over a Ferrari in Miami. and I'm popular, I'm the artist, right? But then when you put these two together, this one is a joke.
Yeah. And they don't have a respect for the art.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. People will call this guy a hater because now now we're gonna talk, you and I, right here, right now. You got 1 million followers, you make a lot of money. You painted for Aston Martin, you painted for any expensive car out there. What do you know? See, so you bring a guy that is substantial and tells you about his process, understand the material. Is a interdisciplinary artist that understand how to speak a good language, how to be that, so.
And to play devil's advocate, I think the guy who did the Ferrari would be like, people bought it. Like who?
Yeah,
Who are you to tell me that?
Yeah, valid,
right?
valid, 100% valid. I don't say, I'm not the kind of guy that says this guy has to die. He has to be out, obliterated. No, absolutely not. You know why? Because I've been there. Meaning like there's moments that you said, yo, we have to make money here. Yeah, be the Milli Vanilli of the arts. It's okay. Would you blame these two guys that were out on the street for taking that contract? Exactly.
Well, so you're talking about the guy who wanted to cut it in half.
Yeah.
Right? He wants the money.
Yes. So it's just a matter of just being able to discern and know the difference of what you buy,
So how do you value an artist?
Now we're going to talk about this. Yes. There's a certain criteria, like in the art market, and this is what people don't talk about because it will be basically demystifying the art process, the art collection. There's people out there that they want a nice painting to put it behind the counter, behind the couch, in the living room, the headboard, and they want decoration, right? And then time passes and they say, but the painting was beautiful. I paid $30,000, $40,000. What happened? Why is it not costing? I'm trying to sell it. To get to understand how you find value, you have to understand who the artist is. How did the artist came to be? Personally, I don't know one artist that said, I want to be an artist, that ever said, I want to be an artist when they were kids, or I am going to be an artist. It's more like a condition,
Oh, that's interesting.
It's like a condition. And that's what the art dealers and art collectors and art enthusiasts are looking for. I want that sick person that has that condition. You find that condition. The metric is different because you find that condition when you find not only the struggles, but you find how this artist has lived his life and compare it to his work. So you take his work and you see quality. You see the knowledge of color, the use of color. So many come from academy and you understand that they studied this. Some others don't, like outside artists. Then you compare and you say, this guy has been struggling, but why? He's that good. How is it possible that this guy is not in the market right now? How come he's not doing good? Sometimes it's luck. So that's number one. You have to find that character, that wild card that you say, oh my God, this guy is talented. Look at how he paints. Look at what he does at that early age. How did it happen? Is he hungry to be an artist? Or is he suffering of a condition that he needs to speak? And his outlet is his work. You know what I mean? I mean, Van Gogh never sold a painting. And he started wild. And he started working when he was 27. I have an artist in here that he's my age and he's been painting for only 20 years. Only.
I like how you say that, yeah.
But he's everywhere. His destiny was to paint. So I'm sorry, but I believe you come with that stigma. You're either going to be an artist or you're not. That's another.
I think anyone substantial, anyone that people respect, anyone that someone meets and admires, typically there's some level of adversity. If you see a true performer or a true artist, they often have this, something that comes from their background of hardship, strife.
That's a tribe, dude.
And then, like, I just have a son, and I want my son to have a great life, right? But I also know he needs to have some type of adversity somewhere to become something substantial, or to really understand life from something outside of his narrow, myopic view.
Art and not even art, creativity is a survival instinct. That's what it is.
What do you mean?
You feel you're gonna die some way, somehow. Your survival instinct, like not in the sense of literally like physically dying, but well, that too. I mean, you're gonna be creative if you're about to die. You're gonna be creative figuring out a way not to die.
Yeah.
So that's an instinct. So the creativity is like that, you know. It's pretty much like, you know, challenge. Challenge makes. I mean, let's be clear. People out there is pushing the mental health, which we all need to be balanced. But the most fucked up people in the head with the most traumas are the most talented.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
Yeah. It's the people in the middle that need the help. Like people on the other side of the spectrum, like leave them be.
Yes.
They're killing their.
Yes. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I agree
it's a
with that.
fact. All the rock stars, freaking writers, they're all dark.
People can't be those people. Like, that's so hard to do. And I don't know if it's developed or if you have it from birth or how it works, but those people have something special that you can't replicate. You can't even put your finger on what it is or why you like it.
Yeah.
There's something there.
Yeah. I mean, you know it. Just to give you an idea, I was sitting here and I see somebody that comes in and tells me, I'm an artist. I want to see in the way that person approaches me. Before I even see the artwork, I already know what the artwork is like.
Person that wants to buy art, the person that wants to sell you art.
The person that wants to be part of the art gallery, somebody submitting his work, that he wants a critic. The way that person approaches me, I already read the whole artwork.
So you feel like you have an idea of what
It's like
it is.
forensics. It's forensics.
And how do people approach you?
Well, you get people saying, yeah, I'm gonna send you my portfolio. I'm painting this or I'm painting that. You know, that's not the person. When you get to talk a certain way, it's like certain things that you know, like I was represented by several galleries and I got picked without showing my work.
Okay.
They asked me to show them my work.
That's wild.
When they heard me talk.
It's like buying a home without ever walking in it or even seeing it.
That sells.
Yeah.
So it's basically when you hear somebody talking, you know, you're like, oh, wait, what do you do? What do you paint? What do you sculpt? Like, you know how deep, how substantial that person is. And I'm not talking about you necessarily have to be sophisticated. You can be a caveman and still have substance and be like, this motherfucker is talented. He probably does something cool. I want to see it. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
They want to see behind the facade.
Yeah. They want to see. They want to see that you own it.
Trying to peer into you.
Yeah, they want to see that you own
what's
it.
there.
Yeah,
The only way they can see that is to see this.
yeah. This is broken. Look at the canvas. She's like that. She's broken. You know, she was living on the street. Like artists, they have to speak with their brush. It's not just. I mean, you can have a painter and you can have an artist that paints. Anybody can learn how to paint. Anybody can learn how to draw. Anybody. And it's just this.
Are people usually approaching you or do you approach them?
Both.
How do you decide who you want to pursue?
I see the story. You see the story. You're like, did you ever hear the guy from The Hangover? What's his name? Bradley Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I just want to work with extraordinary people.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to have that, whoa, You know, when you're talking to somebody, you know the vibe of that person, what is emanating from it. You know, you're just like, okay, this guy's talking some serious shit.
Well, people either take or they give energy.
Absolutely.
When I feel like someone's taking my energy, I want to get away.
No, but there's this interaction. Dude, I paint numbers and letters. We are a metric of many different aspects that we are made of. Like, we navigate within a tapestry of metrics, you know? So giving and taking, you can't just take and take or give and give and give. It's both, you know? We exchanging perspectives, we talking. There's to me, it's important that one day after we're done in here, you're gonna say, I remember that interview was very interesting. You know, I started thinking different since then. So the effect of human interaction is so important. That's what I paint. So everything is a metric. So now that you mentioned energy, now we're talking about something, you know, completely esoteric.
Yeah, the metaphysics of the earth.
Yeah, beautiful. That's actually my work, what I paint, the part that you don't see with a naked eye. So,
do you think these pieces have different energy?
absolutely.
Yeah.
So our height is a metric, our weight is a metric, our age is a metric, our skin tone is a metric, it's a code. We navigate in a tapestry of metrics, the distance, the height, the depth, the weight, the girth, you know, the color, everything is something that we don't know, but it's a metric. And we are interacting here, giving each other back and forth. All men are created equal. That's a fact. You might have something more than me, but I guarantee you I have something more than you do. That's how we are. And that changes with evolution. It changes with everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How do you find the person that has that?
Would you laugh if I tell you karma? Because we're talking professional here. So
I struggle with karma.
yeah.
I'd like to believe it, but too many bad things happen to good people and too many good things happen to bad people.
No.
And so, is it karma here or is it karma? What do you think happens when you die? I know you're still not the Catholic boy.
Now I'm going to respond with another question.
Okay.
How do you know we already dead?
I mean, like a simulation.
How do you know that you didn't die yesterday?
I'm the same person I am today.
You feel like we're the facts. What? Skin, shit, the
Way I
flesh,
feel. Way I
stuff.
feel.
Exactly. So it's consciousness, right? What happened after we died? Maybe I died already. Maybe we go into a different dimension. Maybe we don't know we died. You know, I don't know.
So, see, if you're saying that, I would think reincarnation.
Absolutely. I think it's beautiful because I think that they have that fear to death. It fascinates me. It fucking fascinates me.
That's at the beginning of the next level.
Right. Yeah, but there's some people, I mean, I'm afraid of it, but I'm fascinated.
Yeah, we're all afraid.
Fascinated.
We're afraid of leaving what we have here.
Dude.
I don't think we're afraid of dying. I think we're afraid of leaving. I'm afraid of leaving my wife, my son, my family. I'm not afraid of dying. I'm afraid of leaving.
Achilles said, death makes life more beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the gods envy us because we are doomed. Because we have to appreciate.
Oh, because they live forever.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Huh? Mm-hmm. Imagine that shit. If we live forever. Imagine that. Would you sign that contract to live forever right now? No fucking way.
No. Especially with a body that falls apart.
Shit. No, even if you live forever like this, I mean, I think, you know, we gotta reset.
No one wants to stay in the same stage.
No. Nobody.
So back to karma. So you think there's a karma in the person?
We all carry karma.
I believe that.
Yeah, we all carry karma.
I think that's the end.
Come on. I know a lot of bad things happen to many good people. There are things that we don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, it's like if someone leaves too soon, you can think they left too soon because maybe they were called to go somewhere else where they were doing more. Right? And so that simplifies the karma idea. If you say some bad things happen to good people, well, maybe they're going somewhere else.
yeah.
So you feel that energy? Would you ever would you ever take on someone's art without seeing it, like someone did with you?
Oh, interesting question. It hasn't happened. I mean, the possibility is there. I don't think no, I think
It's too much of a game.
You gotta see it. Yeah, no, to that point, it's reckless.
How does the business side of that work?
Okay, so you have to find a point of how you're gonna sell what you sell.
Yeah.
First of all, you have to believe in what you sell.
I've been to galleries, and I'm not a big art person. I love art. I feel I just don't know enough, and that I like learning about it. But I've definitely gone into galleries where I don't feel a person stands behind what they're saying.
Right?
Yes.
That's because I love this, because now every time you go to a gallery or you go into an art opening, you're gonna go with that eye sharp, like you say, like, wait, I met Fidel, I talked to him, I don't see this in here. Oh, I may see this in here. Or maybe you become more like savvy and you start asking the question and putting them.
I feel like some of these people are full of shit.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. What do you think? I mean, it's a difficult market.
Yes.
Look, to sell the art, I mean, number one, it's competitive. Everybody tells you out there, oh, no, don't compare your work with other people. Yes, you can.
Well, everyone else is going to.
Yeah, everybody can. I compare. I want to know how you blend. I want to know if you know what type of brush you should use. I want to know technically how you apply the gesso, how you apply color, how do you mix? Why do you mix on the palette or you mix straight on the canvas? You see, I need to know how do you evolve as an artist? So I see the process. I have to see that the artist first is honest. So you have to believe in what you sell. The person is going to come to you and say, you have to be, your integrity has to be intact. Good and bad things are going to happen. People is going to be like, he's an asshole. Doesn't matter. You like to go to the club where the doorman tells everybody says the doorman is an asshole. Because if you go through that door, it means you're fucking good. Mm-hmm. This in the arts is the same. You want to believe in what you have. And then you have a criteria. I want somebody that has a compelling story. I want somebody that technically is good, that knows how to paint. I want somebody that is unique. That when I see that painting, I know, oh, that's a 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗣𝗡𝗥. You know, that I want to see that's a Silvio Porcenato. When you see the numbers, it's not that letters and numbers anybody will say is Fidel. No, you got to go in there and you kind of want to touch the painting. You know, there's something behind
texture. I noticed that.
Yeah, that one is.
This is yours, right?
Yeah. So you know what I mean. So you want to have a language with your work. You want to be able to look at the work. The work makes you think. There has to be a connection. There has to be a dialogue. The dialogue is subliminal. You're gonna stand in front and be like, interesting. Like the wine taster. The guy that tastes the wine, they say, oh, interesting. Because they just processing the idea first. Interesting. I didn't expect this. Art. I wonder what he was thinking when he was doing this.
Do you ever look at something and then look at it again? Maybe you've looked at this thing 10,000 times, but you get a different feeling or a different thought.
Yes. You can do that with Dalí, with Picasso, with many artists. The more you evolve in learning about, the forensics, for lack of a better word, like understanding what the process was like for an artist to get there. You look at a work and you kind of like, if that artist triggers you into reading who he was, like Jackson Pollock. Jackson Pollock has a story that is sad. He was an alcoholic. He had problems. He was pissed because he was feeling the way many of us feel with the arts, that there's a lot of jokes out there. And Pollock got to a point of desperation that's what all the dripping, that's when the dripping came out. He was just exhausted. It was to a point that's when it came out.
So he was beat down.
He was beat down. He's broken. An artist has to be completely broken to give his best, because it's the ultimate self-expression. The ultimate, when nothing else works, that's when you're gonna paint.
What kind of music do you like?
Everything, man.
You don't like it. No,
Well,
right now in your car.
I don't have a car.
Okay. I didn't have a car for 9 years. I just got one.
Dude, I'm a liability. I can't have a car.
I'm with you. I don't
I'm a
like it.
liability. I'm a freaking liability. That's the truth. Like, you gotta be honest.
Okay, so you go into your iTunes, your Spotify, whatever you listen to. What's on right now?
I try to enhance what I go through if I'm gonna work. So I approach my work this way. Okay, I'm happy. I'm gonna listen to happy music. I need to be inspired. So I play classical music.
Okay.
But if I'm gonna approach the work, like I'm coming to spit out my anger because I'm angry and I need to speak because I'm not being heard, I'm gonna enhance that anger and I'm gonna put some freaking dark music. And the palette is gonna change and the approach, the work is gonna change. So I listen to music according to how I'm feeling, and I think everybody works that way.
I do the same thing. Where I was going with that is when I think of an artist, there's a lot of artists, they have a freshman album, right? Their first album, it's great, we love it. Then they put out another album, it's not the same thing.
They're not hungry anymore.
There's no hunger, there's no strife, they're not broken. They've tasted the good life, and now they have nothing to really write about.
Exactly.
They have nothing to tell their experiences about.
That's why our dealers love to get artists that are in their 50s,
Really?
late 40s, 50s, 60s.
So you're starting.
That's when they're gonna.
a young person.
This is a freaking. This is when they wanna discover you, because at that point, if you haven't been really exploited and discovered at a magnitude, and you are that good, it means that you struggled a lot. Your marketability will be higher.
That makes sense.
Where are you
Do you
coming
also
from?
think they're going to have like an inventory of work?
Yeah, absolutely. That's when they start doing research and where do you come from and what happened during this year and what about that work and what about that work and what about that work? A lot of people right now is focusing in just building a name, house of cards.
Yeah.
House of cards. Already it's a process.
So that's a really interesting process. So you as the gallery owner, as the promoter of the artist, right? At the end, that's what you are.
Yeah.
How do you promote that person and how do you tell their story and get it to the masses where people are going to want to pay astronomical figures for their work?
So depending on the market you are, because there's secondary market. So
Right.
So when you find an artist, you want to know how the artist started. You want to know that the artist is really speaking and he's affected, he's afflicted by his work. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's negative. It means that there's a way that you speak through your art and I can see you translated into the outcome, like the way you paint, if you're a painter, the way you pick the color. Why do you use warm colors? Why reds, why browns, or why is it cold? Why are they small? Why are they big? What are you attempting? So basically you work almost like a psychologist. You're really getting into their mind and being like, let me see. Like, it's fascinating because it's human interaction. So you get to see these artists and be like, you struggling? Are you struggling? And when they're good, you're like, inside you're thinking, don't worry about it, you're going to struggle some more, but your good work is going to come out, it will pay off. So that's how you start looking at them. Those are the ones that you pick. Then you basically, you have to create a relationship with them. You have to know them. You know what they think, you know how they are, you know where they live, you know what they do, you know what they like, you know what they read, you know what they wear, you know who their friends are. It's like in history, the movements, the art movements, like the Impressionists, the postmodern, they are movements of artists that got together, knew each other. That's how the movement happened, because they knew each other. When Picasso was Picasso, when he was alive, it wasn't only Picasso. Modigliani was in it. Amadeo Modigliani. So art is chronically speaking, it's important to understand what is happening around that artist.
What's going on in their life at the time?
Yes. Who you related to. This is why it's important.
What's the other influence?
Yeah, who are you influencing with? Like, who you working with? Why are you working like this? What are you guys doing together? What kind of work do you do together? Why are you doing, like when you see collaborations, they're important. Why do you guys collaborate? Just to make cool artwork? No.
There had to be something.
Yeah. People sometimes don't get it. It's like in music, you see collaborations. It's all of a sudden you see the one that collaborated with everybody move the whole group up.
Yeah.
With art, it's the same. You have to be able to collaborate and pick who you're collaborating with, because this is your ecosystem. You have to protect it. You have to promote it, propel it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's how you create value. You create value understanding what kind of artist is this guy. Then writing about the guy, knowing that who you're promoting is real, knowing that the person that is going to come to collect art, knowing he's buying a potential product, something that is going to be valued. You know what I mean? And then you have to tell him, like, look, this is an artist that hasn't been broken. I mean, he's broken, but he's been broke his whole life, and he's still painting, and he will die painting. Whether you collect it because you like to collect art or because you want your kids to have an art collection, you know? I mean, I have a collector that bought one of my works, and he lives upstairs. And I went to see his work, and he had 2 Picassos, a Matisse, Rauschenberg, and I'm like, why are you collecting me?
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like,
It's good company.
you know what I mean? No, I got several like that. One got Alex Katz and got mine in his living room, and I'm like, wait, and they happen to be like third age. And he's like, Fidel, what do you think that I started collecting last year? I collected Picasso when Picasso was alive. Like, I forgot he's 97, you know? So he said, I collected when they were, when I had the eye. So you understand that you're doing something right. You know what I mean? So you learn interacting with these guys that collect art, you interacting with other galleries that are, they got integrity. Some other ones are just commercial. You know, you got to keep yourself niche to go to the right audience.
There's a lot of galleries in Chicago.
Yeah.
Is that true in other big cities? I mean, if you go to LA, are there a lot of galleries? I'm sure there are.
New York, I lived in New York 12 years. New York was flooded with galleries. Soho, I mean, was galleries everywhere. Then little by little, they started moving to Chelsea, and then the Meatpacking District, Chelsea, Brooklyn, Dumbo, all that area. So now it's everywhere. Chicago is the same. They were all in River North.
Yeah.
Remember?
Mm-hmm. I don't, but I know.
They're all gone.
Yeah.
Those on. There's 1, 2, or 3 galleries in there. A lot of other ones closed. But the thing is, like, some galleries don't last. It's difficult to run a gallery. It's difficult to maintain it. It's difficult to find your niche. It's difficult to find your clients. And especially with a lot of factors like politics, things that happen that affect, the city, it kind of like divides the clientele.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
People are collecting. They come to you and say, when someone walks in the room, They say what their goals are. How do you help guide them through that journey?
Sometimes, like, depending on the client. I mean, sometimes you see somebody that comes in and says, "Oh, we're looking for a painting for a spa." You keep it down. You know, they want to paint for a spa. Then you just wait until they pick something. But sometimes there's the other clients that come and say, "We're looking for a painting for a spot that we got. We don't know what we want. We're working with an interior designer." And then you try to have integrity at that point as well. Because I'm not selling artwork just to match a spot art. So I said, "Look, I know you're looking to add an accent piece, because you're using an interior designer. And they literally, right now, the new art dealers, interior designers, for some of them, which I work with them, they're great, are sharp, razor blade, that they know that you're gonna give them something that is gonna be aesthetically pleasing, that is gonna work with the interior design, that is gonna be an accent piece, and yet it's gonna have a story behind it. And it could be affordable, and it could be an investment. You know what I mean? Like I see people that I tell them, because I have a different program where I tell them, I will put my money where my mouth is. Get the piece, take it for a year, you pay for it. If you come back in a year, I'll give you another one. I'll take it back. Because you know what that's saying?
People have to like that.
People love that. You know what that's saying? That I'm putting value in the artwork that you buy, to a point that I'm telling you, I can sell it for you. Just give it back to me. Or I'll rotate, you know what, change it. Which the market might be like this. It's like pre-owned watches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Basically, very similar. Like right now at this
People are always
point,
trading them up.
yeah, like the Aston Martin. Remember the commercial?
No.
Or do you care you're not the first one?
Best commercial ever.
The
That's
best.
what I call it.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's fine art at its best.
Yeah.
So, do you care? You're gonna be gambling extremely.
They wouldn't do that ad here.
Of course they. but you see what I mean? So it's the genius of offering you something that is hard to match. I'm gonna give you substance. I'm gonna give you a story. I'm gonna give you a potential artist that is
There's
right
almost
there.
life to it that it was with someone else on the secondary or tertiary market, because it's like so and so had it. I can't tell you who, but it was up here in the Four Seasons, top floor. There's a story behind it. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, like you see so many different things. Like, so many different.
Real estate's the same way. Like,
Yeah.
so and so lived here. They did this with that. Some people care about that. Some people don't. Some people want the place because so and so owned it.
Exactly. The pedigree, the story behind it. It's like the blue period, Picasso's blue period. They knew he was depressed. It's the most expensive. Then you have the Guernica, which is the political. So
That's one of my favorite paintings.
Shit, that's
Yeah. That thing's so big.
dude.
I saw a puzzle of that once. I tried to put it together. Failed.
Yeah, of course.
It's all black and white.
Man. But now that you say like real estate, when real estate is good, art is good. It's very similar.
If the asset classes are doing well, art's going to be in that asset class.
Yes. I know.
It's jewelry, art, real estate, they fall in the same line.
Yeah. And it's a thing that people it's a very delicate subject, because art, fine art, contemporary fine art, Jerry Saltz, Pulitzer Prize, said art is for anyone, but not for everyone. Some people misunderstand what he meant by that. Some people think that, no, art is for everybody. Of course, art is for everybody. It's at the reach of everybody. It's available to everybody. But some art is out of your reach when it comes to communicating. if you put an artist that paints quantum physics, somebody that doesn't understand quantum physics is gonna like it from an instinctive response to the stimuli, but it's not gonna understand emotionally. It's not gonna be able to translate. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's what it means. Like, so
people might love that quantum physics or quantum art, but for two totally different reasons.
Yes, exactly. So if you really want to connect with the artist, you really have to like have a certain degree of navigating in almost the same. That's what I do. I connect the dots, meaning I grab this person and you said, I got something that when you look at it, I know you're gonna like it because what he contains, what he got behind it, is you. That's the point of being an art dealer. You handle it like an art, like a painting. You grab the painting and you know who you're gonna talk to with your painting. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's basically you with real estate.
As you as an artist, what inspires you to do the next piece, or how do you come up with what you're going to do? It's good to talk to the artist and the promoter of the gallery. You know, it's good to hear both sides.
Yeah, I mean, like me personally, what inspires me to the next?
Yes.
I think that you're like a sponge. Well, this is how it works for me. Like, I'm like a sponge. I get swamped in problems and things that I deal with and experiences. My life is filled up with all kind of people, all kind of activities, all kind of, energies that you can't talk anymore. You're like, okay, you squeeze everything out, right? It's like Bruce Lee said, empty your cup, empty your mind. So basically, your CPU gotta be clear. And then you say,
cash.
Yeah, then you say, okay, what do I wanna talk about? What did I experience now? And at what point of in that trajectory I'm at? Maybe I suffer a heartbreak. Maybe I suffer physically. Maybe I suffer, emotionally. I don't know, maybe I struggled financially. Maybe I want to talk about, there's so many things that you got to talk about. Maybe something inspired you. Maybe you fell in love with somebody. Maybe you fall in love every day with everybody. Maybe you want to talk about something. And so you start thinking and putting your life in perspective and putting everything on a priority list. Okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to talk about something? Yeah. What's bothering you? Okay. And what are you loving right now about your life? Which one weighs more? So it's like, okay, I can develop this idea. I can work. But I can just come one day pissed off and put the canvas in front of me and say, okay, the top is going to be the head, the middle is going to be the torso, the bottom is going to be the feet. And start painting as if I'm fantasizing that I'm beating the shit out of the canvas. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. So it all depends, like how the process is gonna start. There's always different avenues into arriving to the creative process. It doesn't always start the same way.
So sometimes you're approaching it with a goal in mind. Sometimes I'm painting to paint. Like a writer. A lot of writers, they have a goal to write, but sometimes they gotta write bullshit until they can actually
oh yeah, absolutely. You can start from a very intellectual point and say, let me talk about this. And all of a sudden, after you work so hard for a whole idea, something happened and it changed everything. Everything. Like, it's like how I told you, my work is about to start. And I'm 51. Like, now is when I'm going to talk. Like, okay, let's start fucking around. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like you have to fuck around though to give the art?
Fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
That's how it is. That's how it is. I mean, days ago, I told my friend at the art fair here in Chicago, I ran into her and she's admiring this artwork, looking at it. And she's like, and I knew what she was thinking. And I'm like, you want to be hanging on that wall, huh? And you're good. And I said, But if you keep working where you're working, you won't be able to make it. You gotta struggle. You gotta go through it. I know people is afraid of it. And I know artists out there, many of them, they say, yeah, you can have a part-time job. You can do this on the side. Yes, you can. But you have to turn it into something creative. If you don't put creativity 24/7 in your life, and you're gonna use creativity just during the weekends, you are dead in the water as an artist. So even if you're serving coffee, you have to be the artist at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's respecting it. It's respecting what you're doing at the time.
Yeah. I mean, you can be an
Serve
artist.
coffee, serve it well.
Yes.
Put a smile on the person's face.
Yeah, be an artist. Be that character that said like, I work as an interpreter in New York.
Yeah.
To be able to survive.
Okay.
And I learned while I was
You
working.
can't do any interpretation there.
Exactly. So
There's no art.
no, there's no art, right? There's no art. And I started thinking, what am I doing?
It's so black and white.
yeah, it's so black and white.
Huh.
So I became a simultaneous interpreter, meaning I learned the process so much that at the time the attorney will make a statement, I knew the statement, meaning like I know the procedure. I knew that he was gonna say, "Good morning, Mrs. Perez. I'm the attorney representing the city of New York," and I was already speaking with him, So I know I wasn't being a visual artist, but at that point, you get into that state of the art, that you start like, there's always a level to get there. Even athletes get to a point that artists, yeah.
Yeah.
See what I mean? Yeah.
When'd you sell your first piece of art? Better question.
Shit, 17.
17? What did you sell? What was the first time you sold someone else's?
I mean, you got to respect the work.
Yeah.
You can't just go like, I'm going to be an art dealer. No.
Did you plan on that, or how did that come about?
I didn't. I actually, the beginning was different. It's not that I wanted to do a business and let's open up a gallery and make money out of this, because this is, the art business is tragic. And you have to make it work. What happened is that I said, I don't understand, because I was always in art galleries since that I was 17 years old. And I learned listening to the art dealers, like good art dealers and good artists, all artists too. And I learned so many things from them and listened to so many things. And then when you see the art business is disappointing, I'm like, how is it possible that you guys just want to sell a painting and don't want to educate somebody and give them like all the juice that there is?
Well, not even like the wants, but I don't feel like you could sell them without doing that.
Yeah, but some people is selling hot dogs.
Yeah.
Like this art is prolific and then selling. And then this is how it happened. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be that different guy. I'm going to be the different guy. And I am that different guy that people is going to say, I got to go to this guy because, he put special people together. I put special artists together. People that I love them. Like I talk to them and I know what they go through. So I was like, bro, I know how difficult it is to do this. I'll lead. I'll take the lead. Let's do this. And then how is it promoted? How do I sell them? By taking everything like an orchestra, like Steve Jobs said. Remember?
What?
He wasn't the one who created everything that Apple created. He said, he is the orchestra director.
Yeah.
I'm the one doing everything, but you start looking at art. Yeah, you wanna conduct and be the visionary and be like, this is what it's gonna. If you have vision, and you are able to predict how things are going and where they might head to, you are able to drive the car much better. You know what I mean? That's what there's race car drivers.
Does art really move like that? Like what's
Art really moves like that, dude. It's fascinating because
it's so different because it's what's standing out to somebody. But I feel like people that are investing in art are just listening to the gallery owners on the direction.
yes, but there's also the good people, the people that is inquisitive, that have those inquisitive mind that want to be different, that is like they want to stick out and be like, there's people that wear main brands, and then there's people that wear a brand that you don't know what it is, and it costs a fortune.
And there's no logos.
And there's no logos. See what I mean? So I started paying attention to that. Like, you don't see her signature there. You don't see signature there. You don't see signatures on mine, most of it. I mean, that one has it, but you see what I mean?
Is
so easy.
Is that like you'll know it when you see it?
Exactly. So now it's more like, you know what? Let this deal. Work speak for itself. So when you put these people together that kind of vibe and got the same principle and get to see in the same direction, those are the guys that work.
Could never imagine doing a painting and not putting my name
behind it. Actually, you want to know? You want to know something? In the 15th century, before the 15th century, it wasn't about the artist. It was about the discipline. It was about the discipline. It was about what is done. We worship Leonardo da Vinci, but it's not about Leonardo. It's about the Mona Lisa, the work, what he did. That's why he became who he is, because he wasn't thinking about becoming Leonardo da Vinci. He was thinking about the evolution.
We were talking earlier about the outside of the spectrum, like Da Vinci. That guy wasn't normal, I'm sure.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? Like
someone tried to control, like if someone tried to change or control anything he was doing, never get what he got.
Exactly. Leonardo, this is why I'm kind of like in a way disappointed how, like, look at what you just told me. I wouldn't think, but your type of your field is different. You know, we move in different areas. But look at what you said. I need to sign it. I need to you want people to know that it's yours, right?
Yes.
You know what I live for?
People asking.
Yeah. What the fuck is this? Who did this? This is awesome.
Yeah.
When people say, who was this sick person who did this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a sick thing that you have. And then eventually, okay, you sign. But it's more, the work itself.
Is that part of the mystique?
For me, it is.
Uh-huh.
For me, it is. Like you see, the door is closed. How long did it take you to find me? Because I get
a minute.
Last year.
Even though you're
and people will
in the
think,
middle of everything.
And people will think, I want to be the one in the middle of everything, but it's not being seen. Like I was there. You know what? How cool is that? Like I was there. Like I have people that said, and this is a fact, Fidel Rodriguez, never heard of him. I don't know who he is. I don't know who the guy is, right? And then you go to a couple of collectors that got a Mondrian, Picasso, and I'm not talking an etching, a drawing, a painting, that got a Rauschenberg, and they got one of my pieces. That's what matters. When you know that you're being appreciated at that level.
That's validation.
That's validation for who matters.
Yeah.
Some other people want the masses, the Instagram, the big thing. A lot of people can go to a store and buy an expensive suit. But then you go to that one, that Italian tailor, that French tailor that is taking to your size, right? Mm-hmm. Custom made. It's people that is going to pay for that. Yeah, commissions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Okay. Usually I advise to like other artists out there, commissions are commissions. People come and say, Yeah, you can. I want to pay. I want my wall with flowers. I want my wall with a pop art, and they do it. Yeah, you gotta survive, make the money. You know what I mean? I did it a lot. You know how many Pokemons I painted in New York City? I painted Pokemon everywhere in freaking houses. You know what I mean? But my commissions that I have, like when people come to me, they know they don't want to tell me, I want you to paint flowers, or I want you to, no. If you're coming to me to do a commission, it's because you're familiar with my work, or you like my work, and you want me to do something. This is how the commission works in my case. Today, I want you to see me. I want you to see what I'm about. I want you to see my house, to see my space, to see my vibe, to know me. Then you do a commission for me.
That I'd like.
That's what it is. That's what I do. That's what I do. Don't worry about it. I'll paint you.
I'll tell you, I went to someone's house once. It was two guys who bought this place together and they rehabbed it. They got taken. They hired a designer and they told me how much it cost them. I'm looking, I'm like, that's not here. But then they had an artist do that. They paid $25,000 to have this wall painted in their condo. Like a wall. Like, I understand the piece, but like, you can't take this with you. You're not going to live here forever. And it wasn't good.
And they will tell you.
Yeah. They're talking about the meaning behind it.
Oh, I love that you're saying that. And they will tell you, he got 100,000 followers.
He got
Instagram.
hustle.
That's what they got. Followers
They got
on Instagram.
hustle.
Yo, he just had a show at this restaurant.
Yeah, that is what they
Yeah,
they started talking about the person.
They just saw that.
And I'm just looking at the art like.
And you see this guy, theatrical in the middle.
You can't be rude, but I have a hard time bullshitting, and I pissed them off. They were unhappy.
This was the right guy for the interview.
Yeah, I just couldn't. I was like, I don't see it. I don't.
Dude, you're right.
$25,000, and then I started giving them a hard time. So I'm like, you can't take this with you. You paint this on your wall in your condo.
You're so right.
The person who comes here next is gonna paint over this.
Yeah. I mean, I have seen right now, and I'm not gonna say names because I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want people to hate me more than they hate me already. But I have walked out. I walked on the street and I have seen artwork from artists that got official pages with 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, 100,000, 1 million followers. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking serious? I'm looking at the artwork and I'm like, he or she can blend, can draw, can even paint properly with a projector. The gradients are completely like
when you say projector, does that mean it's being projected?
Yeah, projected. That is to facilitate something like to time. Something that is going to be time consuming. But not even with that. And then gimmicky, like the gimmick.
That's what this was.
Because gimmick. Right now, you know how many people paint Mickey Mouse? The Monopoly character? The dollar sign?
You see that all over Miami.
The dollar sign? Yes.
Yeah.
And then put a lot of glitter and put epoxy resin on it. And I keep saying, like, guys, if fine artists, contemporary fine artists, took the time to take you out of business, you would have been out of business. But somebody has to do that work. Somebody has to create
Well, there's always basic people.
Yeah, but that has to be created.
Yeah.
That, the reason why Tom Ford exists is because Tara exists. You get what I mean? Like, there's some people that, there's some people that
drives the art.
Yeah.
The mediocre art, the basic art that pushes the good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, everybody.
That's got to be polarized.
Everybody drives Audi because it's expensive. And, an Audi. Not everybody drives a Shelby Cobra.
Yeah.
It's very unique. It's one sheet of metal, done. I restored Shelby Cobras with airbrush back in New York.
Really?
So I used to retouch it.
One sheet of metal.
One sheet of metal. That's a piece of art, dude.
It's like a Cybertruck.
It's a piece of art.
Yeah.
One sheet of metal, bam, 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 bam. That's energy right there. That's a Shelby Cobra. You know what I mean? So it's very unique.
Painted cars.
Yeah, I painted motorcycles, cars, shoes, jackets, clothing.
I imagine it's a certain part of your career. It's like whatever.
I painted for DMX.
Really?
Remember DMX?
He's dead.
DMX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you paint for him?
Jackets. Bloodline, when he was alive. You know that.
Yeah.
Bloodline Records. So I used to work. This is the time in New York when
It's the 90s?
we're talking about 2000, 2001, 90, from 98 till 2001.
Yeah.
I was painting for rappers. I mean, I painted for Little Kim the shoe box for her shoe collection called Little Kim Queen Bee by 𝗣𝗢𝗣𝗡𝗏. You know, it was a shoe company that manufactured in Italy, and I designed the box. And so they will come and be like, can you paint the shirts for the video? All in the village in New York back in the day.
Yeah, 'cause you get Lil Kim and DMX.
Everybody.
Where'd you get
DMX
that?
came.
Where'd you get that?
DMX.
Yeah.
No, the funny thing is like DMX will come to the showroom, to the store, because it was a boutique, right? And he came to us, and he said, and I'm wearing a black suit with black shirt, black tie, and he's like, I want you to paint, bro, Bloodline Records, but I don't want no pink. I was like, okay, fine.
Why do you think you do paint?
Well, because back in the day, you know, he wanted to be macho, you know.
No, but why did you think you would do paint? There, you just said no paint.
Because I wasn't rugged like him. So he's
Okay.
like, in reality, what he said to me was, I don't want no pink for that gay shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can put a pink
Yeah.
on that, you know. That's what happened for real, though. And I'm like, I looked at him and I'm like, dude, I'm straight. What's wrong with you?
What anyone with an accent, American thinks they're gay. They
Right?
question.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
they could be gay.
Yeah. You know, or because you
Americans are
sit
fun.
like this and you're comfortable, or your hands are like you do this a lot. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be like, you know what I mean? It's funny. I mean,
We're positioning our legs like, oh,
yeah. Funny. Yeah, man.
Would you ever do something you didn't like to do? Not didn't like, but like you did because you had to.
Depending how hungry I am.
Yeah. Is there one thing that you really didn't feel good about yourself later for?
Yeah, I did. I can say this now. So I'm not going to say the name of the artist. I did a whole exhibit. This could be controversial, but it's the truth. I did a whole art exhibit of Black artists in New York for a place in Harlem. 16 paintings. And they were not signed by me.
Someone else signed?
I was in the year 1998. Someone else signed.
Someone else signed. Interesting.
Obviously,
Did the
you don't know they might.
yeah?
Because I took it as, you know what? I'm going to be the hand. I'm going to be a ghost painter. I'm going to paint what they want. It doesn't say anything about me. It just said that I'm capable of painting the figures that they wanted. I painted Ray Charles and all these icons. So I did the whole thing, and he signed.
Okay, we're gonna bring this full circle because we were talking about counterfeiting money. What about
Full
forgeries?
circle? Yes.
What about forgeries?
Dude, at a point, I think we're gonna get to a point that the forgeries are gonna be famous. The forgers are, I mean,
Some people say they already are. Like,
they already are, yeah. I mean,
is that a bit? How prevalent is that in the art world? I mean, for something that everybody knows, I could see that being a bigger thing where there's only X number of them or something like that.
it's got to a point.
It's big money.
It got to a point that they photographed the edges of the painting in the back, so they know how the paint dripped, how the edges are. Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah. That's why everything counts. That's why I tell people, I'm like, it's a piece of artwork. If he has the hand in the back, or if
All that stuff.
all
It's not
that,
just
all that,
weird.
the
It's all
mistake
wrapped
and
around the
everything. You have
frame.
no idea. You buying a timeless piece of art. You buying a piece of creative history. on a whole tapestry of art and creative in the creative realm. You know what I mean? We are here. We take it for granted because we're here. We are alive. But I mean, there's times that I look at a painting and I'm painting, and this is another approach that I have. And I imagine, I'm not here. I'm not here. I'm not here. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm not here. Imagine you looking at the work of an artist that is already dead. What would he be like? Wow. I want to recapture that impression when you see artwork from artists in a museum when they're not here. To stand in front of that and to look at it. That artist is alive right there. You know what I mean? So that's what you do, you know, when I look at it and I say, okay, let me paint in a way as if I'm not here. It's kind of difficult, but see what I mean? Why did I say this? Because of the
forgeries.
The forgeries.
Yeah.
So technically, like, you know.
You're talking about the life that comes through the painting. And so the
Yes.
forger has to capture.
Yeah, have to capture.
Not just that.
Yeah.
That life.
Technically, yeah. Yeah. I mean, right now you see forgeries like even Jean-Michel Basquiat. Just said, this is a Basquiat. There's a bunch of Basquiat everywhere now. Like, oh yeah, they discovered a Basquiat, of course. I'm sorry, but you know, there's artworks of icons out there that in the actuality right now, a good contemporary artist is able to paint you a Basquiat. Yeah, I know, crucify me for it, but it's the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so much money involved.
So right now they're like, oh, we discovered one. You know, there's even a movie about it with, I don't remember, Brandon Fraser, I think it was. And it was about Rembrandt, where they cook the fabric and they cook the canvas and everything. They make it crack and they make it all, yeah.
What's your favorite part of Chicago? Like, not like part of the
In
city.
what aspect?
Just what do you love about Chicago?
You know, it's funny because I always said I will always live in New York City. And I used to come to Chicago to say I live in New York. Yeah, because I'm a big shot motherfucker. Bullshit. And I would go back to New York and be miserable because it's enormous, it's crazy. You can't, I mean, you gotta live in a very small
It's
space.
enormous, but so small. You know?
Yeah, at the same time, yeah. But Chicago is beautiful. Even, I mean, when I came the first time, my sister picked me up at the airport and she drove to Lakeshore Drive around 9 p.m. on an empty night. She picked me like at midnight, I think. My jaw dropped. Dude, literally dropped. When I saw, I mean, come on. You pass Soldier Field. You pass the planetarium. Like, you pass all this. You see the lake. You see the skyline at night. And you see the park, the fountain, and everything. And you see, and you're like, I love New York City, and I love Times Square, and the Hamptons, and everything out there.
Love
But
Times Square.
this is beautiful. I like it. And right there, I was like, oh shit. I'm like, I have the feeling I'm gonna move to Chicago because I fell in love instantly. So the next day, no, same night, I went downstairs to get coffee, something, and I saw the triangle right here, the Viagra triangle right here, like the street, the restaurants, and the people, and it was so niche, and it was so such a beautiful town, you know. And then see so many different aspects in Chicago. Chicago is actually, it's almost like New York when it comes to the melting pot.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is in a way, and you even live better. And I'm sorry, my friends are crucifying me with this as soon as I love New York. The approach of a New Yorker.
I love visiting New York.
But the approach of a New York, the reason why I did this is because I came from New York.
Yeah.
If I would have moved from Miami to Chicago, this wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
This movement, these artists, this thing, I wouldn't have done it.
New York is a hustle.
It's you struggle. You struggle in a way you can. I mean, I remember eating peanut butter for 2 weeks, dude. You know what that is? Living in a basement apartment where the closet space had a boiler room. I had the boiler room right in front of my bed. to leave from there, to come to Chicago and be like, wait a minute, I can make a life here. You know what I mean? There's a difference. Chicago gives you opportunities. The mentality is different, but at the same time, it's embracing, they love you.
I think the mentality is different, but the fundamentals are still the same.
Yes.
But I think
you can say that.
There's less struggle here. There's
There's
fewer people trying to make it.
Yes.
There's more people making it.
That's true. It's a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People come here for the job. People go to New York hoping to find the job.
To find a job. Yeah, that's true. When I came here, I'm like, I started going to friends' houses and I'm looking at their apartments.
Yeah.
Real estate. I'm like, these guys have a regular job. He live in a 2-bedroom, balcony, high ceiling, the Gold Coast. I'm like, the fuck am I doing in New York?
Yeah.
I can bring what I know from there here. And that's what I did. So you kind of could be edgy in this city and be like, okay, you know what I mean? That's what I love about Chicago. Chicago is evolving in a way, in many different ways, actually. So that's what I love about Chicago. I've been to Little Village, to the suburbs, to everywhere. You know what I mean? You see so many.
Favorite neighborhood?
In what aspect?
Go visit.
Okay, check it out. Depending on what you're gonna do when you're gonna visit. Because let's say I'm gonna go around to eat some tacos. I'm Venezuelan. I love tacos. Mexican taco. And you're gonna go to an art studio, drink some beer, unwind, got a hoodie. Pilsen.
Yeah.
Love Pilsen. And then it's like kind of cool. Everybody's like hipsters in there, all kind of different people. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna go and have some good food and sit at a restaurant and enjoy a good cocktail, you're gonna come to the Gold Coast. So you're gonna go to the West Loop. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there's so many things. You can go to the Disabled Museum in the South Side. You go to, Jefferson Park, Puerto Ricans or Latin, and like you got a little bit of everything in here. That's what I like about Chicago a little bit. Like you can pick and be like, sometimes we're gonna go out eat, and I'm like, stop trying to think about what you wanna eat. Think about an area first. Then we'll find what we wanna eat over there. Because there's you got a little bit of everything everywhere.
The difference between Chicago and New York in that regard is I don't feel like you do that same thing in New York. New York, you're already in the neighborhood. You'll find what you want.
Yeah.
Right? Out here, you got to go to the neighborhood to find what you want.
Yes.
And every neighborhood has its own vibe. Its own food.
Yeah. You got the Little Italy.
I was there yesterday.
See what I mean? Yeah.
Thanks for the time today, Fidel.
Appreciate
you doing this. If people want to find you, what's the best way?
www.artspace8.com.
Artspace8.com.
Yeah, I'm in 900 North Michigan Avenue on the 3rd floor.
Okay.
I'm inside of my Planet Living Center, like the whole space. But if they go online, they can set up an appointment. They can come. And an appointment doesn't mean that you necessarily have to come and buy art. You can have an appointment because you want to be mentored. You want to understand a little bit about the art. I love doing these conversations, and I don't charge people for this. I mean, this is an interview, but you can be like, look, I have my work. Even artists come here and they're like, Fidel, can you give me an advice? I'm gonna come over and tell me what you think. What can I do? Because that's another thing that is important. Your circumstances can change if you go to the right people. If you're an artist and you need help and you're like, how do I become better? What should I do? That's what people don't ask.
Other than that.
Yes.
Thanks for your time.
My man.
Appreciate it.
If you want to watch another My Chicago podcast, click here. If you want to see exceptional Chicago properties, click here. Thanks for watching.